come up with action words, guys.
That's why I can do it.
Oh.
All right, we have Manaia Ogbechie and Teraya Sigler with us. Questions for the Huskers?
Manaia, what was your first taste of Big Ten volleyball like? What was your impression after that?
I was amazed by the amount of Nebraska support in. Right now I'm thinking specifically of Rutgers gym, but also Penn State. It was so loud. There's so much support from everybody, and honestly, it was amazing how much everyone cares about the sport and about our team.
What about the action? I know Penn State and Rutgers are sweeps for you, but people talk about the grind of you're 2 weeks into Big Ten. What were your thoughts on that so far?
Well, the Big Ten is an extremely competitive conference, and every day in practice, we scout hard, we practice harder. There's really no break, really, for any team. I feel like we have to bring our A game to every single opponent.
In the same vein, this is a question for both of you. Now that you're basically halfway through your first year here at Nebraska, what's the biggest difference you see between high-level volleyball in club and high school now playing college volleyball?
I would say, like, especially being taller athletes, like just naturally, just athletic, you get to the Big Ten and everyone's just like you, everyone's just as tall as you, everyone's just athletic, explosive, can hit just as hard, and so learning how to kind of mature in your game, I feel like is super important. I feel like you kind of get here and it's not a rude awakening, but it's a little humbling at first, but it's something that you need to kind of get used to. It's a different game, especially at the level that we play at in the Big Ten and just at Nebraska. I think having to mature and your points look a little differently than they do in high school and club, and all important, but I just feel like you just have to learn how to up your game in that way.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you have to be very disciplined. You can't just power through anything because everyone is very talented. Everything has to be very strategic, calculated, and yeah.
Teraya, what was your
focused.
Teraya, what was your takeaway from Friday night, just in terms of the lead up to that match and what you saw from your team, both in terms of performance and kind of your sense of what that one meant?
Yeah, Penn State was a game that I feel like everyone marks in their calendars. It's such like a big game. It's a huge rivalry, and I just, I was really excited to be a part of it. And obviously we scattered hard, we practiced harder, as Manaia said, and we went in there with the mindset of like, for some people this is like a revenge tour, and for others this is their first time playing at Penn State or playing in this kind of match. And so I think I was super excited. I was kind of embracing my feelings of, being a little nervous. So just, you hear stories about being in this kind of environment. People are heckling you, people are shouting things at you, and learning how to just breathe and play volleyball that you do every day, just in a different environment. And I feel like I give all props to our coaching staff. They did such an incredible job with scouting and just getting us prepared. And I feel like right off the jump, we were ready. And I feel like I also give props to Penn State that they're kind of going through a rebuild year. Losing Izzy is super hard, but I feel like that team had a lot of fire, and that's something that I feel like kind of goes under the rug of obviously scores were not in their favor, but I feel like that team, as time goes on, they will find a click and they will find chemistry, and that's something that we need to be prepared for. But I think that everything just went our way, and we worked really hard to earn that win. And so it was just really fun to be in that environment and to play in the famous rec hall, and just to experience that for the first time.
You mentioned that it's a game that everyone has circled on their calendar, the revenge aspect of it. What has the mindset been since then to just kind of regroup, refocus?
Well, it's something that I feel like is something to say is that everyone circles Nebraska on their calendar when they play us, and every game that we play on the road will be circled in everyone else's calendars. And I feel like learning that something that Jalen has told me recently is that we're here to make great plays, but the great players are the ones that are consistent, the ones that are able to do this for a long period of time. I mean, we're playing, this is so much longer than any of our high school or club seasons, and it's grueling, and it's an everyday grind. We're practicing every day opposed to 2 to 3 times a week, and we have school and a social life, and just trying to balance just being an 18 and 19-year-old girls. And so I feel like just learning to every day is a new day to get better, and finding ways that we can improve our game in any way that we can. Obviously, I think our play this weekend has been great, and I think it was so fun, but we can always get better from that.
Teraya, Danny's giving you some opportunities to play all 6 rotations in some of these matches. What are you learning from those experiences, and how have those helped you to develop as a player?
I think I'm just learning that go out with every intention to show who I am as a player and show what I've worked on. I feel like it might be small, but I feel like I'm a completely different player than I was when I first got here. And I think that goes for playing-wise, confidence-wise, mental-wise. I feel like I'm just learning that, you know, my game's maturing, and I'm learning from the best. Taylor, Sky, and, you know, Harper, having those people in front of me is just, like, the best way for me to learn and the best way in practice. I mean, we go in there and we rip each other's throats out in practice, and then we go get dinner afterwards, and it's like the best environment of being competitive but still having that strong bond with your teammates. So I just feel like learning to take every opportunity and just run with it.
Manaia, you had 8 blocks against Rutgers. What was working so well for you against them to allow you to go off like that?
I really just have to credit everything back to practice. I feel like nothing's harder than getting blocks in our own gym, so going out and facing other competitors, it's a little bit easier.
Who gives you those fits in your own gym?
The most
Trouble.
The
with
most
blocking.
trouble.
Who's the most difficult for you to block?
I would probably say Harper. She likes to jam it directly in my face. So Harper.
In the same vein, what have you learned from the middle in front of you of how you'd be able to evolutionize your game here at Nebraska?
Really everything. Blocking, attacking multiple things as well. I feel like Becca and Andy both give such different, they're both good at such different things. I can really learn everything and anything from them.
I guess how you just balance, you know, playing in more of a limited capacity this year, but just being ready for the moment when your number's called, I guess.
How do I balance that?
Yeah, just like, you know, not playing one game, but then asking to have a bigger load the next game, kind of.
I feel like just always being ready, continuing to learn the scout, even if you might not play. It's really important to at least be prepared, and really the goal is for the team to win. It's not about me, and I have to constantly remind myself that. It's not about me, it's about this team. I'll do whatever it takes to continue to get another win.
You talked about the build up to Penn State. I was a little more hyped for that too. But you go back and start the match from the service line. What is that like, and how do you get your mindset to handle that?
I think it's a great question, just because of, like, as I said before, first time playing in the big Penn State match at Rec Hall, like, that's a super intimidating moment, and I feel like all I could really do is lean on my teammates and lean on my training of, like, going back there. I think self-talk is something that's super important, especially in those moments, because you are your biggest critic, and I feel like, especially for myself, I'm super hard on myself, but learning that, like, you know, trust my training, we worked on this, like, I am more than capable to do this. We are more than capable to do this, and I think as much as Manaia says, like, we can make it about ourselves, of, like, you know, I make an error, I make a mistake, I could have served it in the net that first point, like, oh, this is all on me. It's like, how do you make yourself external to your team, and, like, really leaning on your teammates of, like, my team needs me to be internal and to really work on just being a team player. And so I think it was a super exciting moment, but I had to really calm myself down because, you know, it's a really intimidating moment, but it was good.
Sure. You had a back row kill very early in that match. How does that affect your mindset to get in the flow of the game?
Yeah, I think a back row is like a super, a play that's starting to come up more in college. I feel like, especially when you have three All-Americans that are hitting front row, you know, sometimes you kind of get lost and, you know, you get one-on-ones or you get one-on-nones. And so I think having that confidence that Bergen trusts me to go up and take a swing, and even if it isn't, even if it's not a kill, how can I get them out of system? How can I, like, cause trouble? And so I think early in the match, you know, I think that connection really helped us, and just not even just in that game, but just in future games. I mean, in Rutgers we ran it too, and, like, something that we've really been working on for the past couple weeks, past month. And so I think it just built that confidence of our connection of me and Bergen.
Terry, what do you see?
You talked about the fellow hitters, how living here. How has Bergen helped you?
I think, me and Bergen were beach partners, and so that's my girl. I really do love Bergen. I think that she's such a calm presence, but she's so fierce and she's so strong. I think one thing about Bergen is that she's not afraid to have those hard conversations with us of like, hey, like, our standard needs to be higher. Or in practices where it's a Monday and we're just like, bleh, it's like she's really quick to be like, hey, like, we got to come in here with the intention of getting better. And I think with her, especially in moments where we're in rec hall, I can barely hear myself think and things are kind of going everywhere, it's like coming to her and having that calm presence. And I feel like that's super important because we have such fiery personalities on the team, which is great, but having some sort of calm is also good, especially in high emotional situations, if that makes sense.
Teraya, what do you see from Skyler against Rutgers?
Oh, I love Sky. I think she's one of the hardest workers ever. I think that she's such a team player. I feel like she's someone that always checks in with everyone and she's there to make the team better. And she, me and her come on our off days to get extra reps and I feel like with Sky, like me and her are really close just because we're able to grow together and look up to Taylor and look up to Harper and just expand our range because yes, it is about this year, but we're underclassmen, we're the future of Nebraska as everyone wants to quote it, but that we are getting better every day with each other, and she's just such a light. And something I really admire about her is her faith, that she's going back and she's just trusting the Lord's plan for her, and that feeds off into our team. So she's a super impact player.
Time for one or two more.
This is a question.
For either one of you, a little bit of a different schedule this weekend, just with you guys being home on Friday and then at Purdue on Sunday. What has Danny told you about what the approach is going to be, how that looks this week?
I think Danny's just told us that we're going to come to the gym, we're going to scout, we're going to work hard, and we're just going to take it as it is. I feel like it's really cool that we get to play at home this weekend and then get to go travel to, again, another great atmosphere to play at. I mean, Purdue is a lot like Penn State. It's a volleyball school. It's a school that has just a great environment. So I think we're just learning to work hard. What can we get better from last weekend, and what can we bring into this weekend to really up our game even more?
There were some videos for that Penn State match. You arrived and there's like people standing on the steps just to watch you get off the bus,
Yeah.
and then when you go back to the bus, there's people there, just to take a photo. Like, what's it like how do you feel when you travel with this team before and after matches?
Yeah, honestly, like, maybe Manaia can say this too, you really don't believe it when they say the Husker Nation's everywhere. Obviously, you're like, oh, the parents are going to be there and, a few relatives, but, like, truly, Husker Nation is everywhere. And so learning to just be grateful for it in all times. I feel like sometimes when you're in a big environment with a lot of people, it's really easy to kind of feel small, and it's like, this is a celebration and something that we get to show off our skills and show to all the teams that we work hard for this. We work hard for our rankings. We work hard for everything that we earn. And so I think it's just, every time I see it, it kind of gets me emotional because it's just like, this is an answered prayer to be where I am right now and to be a part of this team and get to play in front of all these people. So I feel like I take those moments in just a heart of gratitude.
Manaia, what's your connection with Bergen? Looking at your stats, you're hitting about 500 for every single match, and we get a good run of playing time too. What's your connection with Bergen been like?
It's honestly just so easy to play off of Bergen and Campbell too. Their level is just amazing. They're tall, they're able to dish it out fast, efficient. They're incredibly intelligent as well, so they can find you one-on-one or one-on-none opportunities. So really just kudos to her.
Are you adapting to them, or did you used to feel like they adapt to you? I mean, are you getting different sets from them, the two different setters?
I feel like it's something in the middle. Mostly, I think they're adapting to me because they're good setters, and I feel like that's just what they do. And all of us have very different hitting styles, so it's very impressive that how they can change up their styles.
This is for both of you. When I post highlights of the games, you two get the most social interactions. Like, we want more of them, more of them. People like, we see Harper in them, but we want them. So I want to post something for social media. What's your message to Husker Nation?
I think for me at least, and maybe we can speak for both of us, that we are working our hardest to make this team successful, and however that is. I think something to remember that we're both 19, 18 years old, and we're here to have fun, make memories, and hopefully win a national championship. And so I think just know that we're gonna bring our best every game and whatever that looks like, and here to have fun and just get better.
That and gratitude. Yes. Gratitude, and we're gonna be here for a couple years, so.
Absolutely, you'll see a lot more of us.
All right, thank you all.